Hi everyone, welcome to the session. Thanks. I know it's late in the afternoon. Hope everyone is awake. So we are going to be talking about conversational interfaces, specifically chatbots, and we'll see how chatbots are transforming customer interactions, as well as we'll take a look at one of the chatbots that we have developed. So we are a company based out of the Bay Area. I'm one of the co-founders, along with my co-conspirator, Anurag over here. We are focusing on intelligent solutions for content and commerce, and the target market is mid-sized to Fortune 500 companies. And we have partnerships with all these companies, IBM, SAP, Salesforce, Bloomreach, Content Stack, etc. Solution areas that we focus on are AI, integration middleware, content management, and commerce. So how many of you are fans of Star Wars? No one? No one? Absolutely? Oh, well, I see a few hands out here. So, of course, R2-D2, I'm sure, is one of the favorite characters in the series. But I would argue that what makes R2-D2 really adorable is C-3PO. So, and one of the reasons why is that they have this banter going on between them. If you just listen to R2-D2's beeps and bops, I'm sure it won't be that interesting. It's the conversation that happens between C-3PO and R2-D2, or another character in the movie and R2-D2, that makes R2-D2 really interesting. Because they're acting as your translator or your natural language processors. So if you look at the history of user interaction on the web, we have this much debated user experience comparison between Yahoo and Google. So Yahoo, of course, started out with this complex kind of a nested interface where you can actually choose categories, subcategories, etc. And then Google tried to simplify it, went completely opposite, and has one search bar, which gives you the ability to put in your natural language queries or any kind of query in there. Another interface that we can look at is for an e-commerce point of view, the evolution of Amazon. So Amazon started out here in 1995 with a simple text-based interface. And then you can actually see now they're transformed into, they have a search bar at the top, but then also have categories and subcategories on the left-hand side, so you can choose. So they've kind of combined the two into one. So how does it relate to what we're talking about? So one area that, this is one of the reports from 2017, so it's already dated a little bit. But you can see that there's a comparison of social networking platforms versus messaging apps. And you can see where they intersect in around 2015 timeframe, and after that, the messaging apps have grown exponentially and have way more active monthly users than any of the social networking platforms. Possibly one of the reasons why WhatsApp was acquired by Facebook. Now let's take a look at some of the conversational interfaces or chatbots that are out there. So here's an example of a few. You can see there's the one for Levi's on the left. There's a Domino's, if anyone wants a pizza. And then we also have an eBay chatbot on the right hand side. These interfaces actually allow that interactive kind of user experience that I mentioned earlier between you and the e-commerce site, which makes it more relatable. So, for example, in the Levi's case, you can actually go and ask for what you're looking for directly, and it can give you the results set right in there, the products right in there. Same thing in Domino's, you can track the amount of time it will take your pizza to get ready. Or eBay, you can actually ask different queries about the products that have been sold over there, etc. And you can compare the products between the other products as well. Another chatbot is the North Face chatbot. I think this was a pretty interesting user experience where they start out by asking you a few set of questions, like what are you looking for? Like how you, like for example, Anurag actually had a personal experience over here where he was planning to go to Alaska and wanted a new jacket. He went to the North Face site and basically told the chatbot, hey, I'm looking to go to Alaska in November timeframe, I think. Silly time for going to Alaska. I don't know why he decided to go to Alaska at that time, but anyways, so the chatbot was smart to know that to correlate that information with the weather information for Alaska during the winter months in November, and was able to come up with a recommendation of if the temperature is this typically in Alaska, and these are our type of jackets which would actually suit you at that time frame. So a pretty good user experience from that point of view, and he was able to pick one of those red jackets, I believe. Right? So let's look behind the scenes. So those are very interactive user experiences that chatbots do provide. It makes your e-commerce site sticky. It makes your e-commerce site more. It's kind of like a personalized experience that you used to get when you went to Nordstrom, for example. You had a person who would actually guide you through your shopping experience. The chatbots kind of provide the similar kind of experience. And the way they do it is you have the chat interface, you have the messaging interface, or you could have Alexa or Siri. But it goes through a natural language processor. So the natural language processor is critical to the evolution of chatbots. And one of the reasons why chatbots have really taken off is because of the natural language processing capabilities. Subsequently, then you have two different types of architectures for chatbot implementations. One is a decision tree, and I'll show you the pros and cons of the two. And then there's an AI ML-based chatbots. But behind the scene, unless you feed the information to these chatbots, you cannot really have a very interactive, deep user experience. And for that, you rely on metadata and analytics information that comes back from the user interaction with the chatbot. Using that, the chatbots also become smarter as well. So let's take a look at the pros and cons of decision tree versus AI-driven chatbots. So their decision tree chatbots are very easy to implement. They're much faster, cheaper. But the more richer experience you want to provide, the more time it takes for them. So they may be initially very fast to implement, but as you progress into deeper and deeper use cases, they become really complex and time-consuming. But they do provide a controlled, consistent kind of an experience. So users cannot typically go out of a particular flowchart. Essentially, it is a flowchart, right? And they are very secure. So those are some of the pros. But on the other hand, our AI-driven chatbots, which are continuously learning and evolving as more and more people talk to them, they are flexible, they evolve along the time, adaptable, and they're more relatable. So they can actually joke with you. So some of the chatbots that you see out there, they can actually have a good conversation with interspersed with some jokes and stuff in there. So they're more relatable as a. So if you, for example, want to relate to that kind of experience that you had at Nordstrom, the AI-driven chatbots will give you that kind of an experience more. They can talk about your interests. They can have side conversation as well, things like that. But that also poses a challenge because this can be misused. So people can actually come in and put in words that you really don't want in there, and the chatbot will effectively, like a child, learn those words. And there's no parenting at that point. The cat is out of the bag, I guess. So it can pose some legal challenges going down the line. So that's why a lot of companies have decided to go for the decision tree chatbots to provide a control experience. But I still believe in AI-driven chatbots are much more powerful eventually. So some of the reasons why I mentioned earlier have caused a lot of heartburn for some of these chatbot implementations. So a lot of them have been pulled back. So there have been some growth pangs, some learning curves in deploying these chatbots. So some of these legal challenges have actually forced companies to pull these chatbots back. There have been customer satisfaction issues as well. The AI model that you have implemented was lacking. But predominantly, a lot of times, the reason is that there's missing metadata. So there's no relevant information in there in the back end to actually drive those interactive conversations.
What kind of legal challenges?
So legal challenges, I mentioned the reason one of those, like if you have conversation, like someone comes in and uses the language which is not relevant, or it's bad language for and kind of counter to your messaging, that can actually lead to legal challenges, for example. Because an AI-driven chatbot will learn those things and then will kind of maybe repeat them. So missing metadata by far is one of the most important reasons why these chatbot implementations fail. So there are some chatbot platforms, and I'll let Anurag talk a little bit about those, and he will carry on to and show you one of the demo implementations that we have done.
Cool, thanks, Sumit. So yeah, there are multiple frameworks. Once you are ready to build the chatbots for your brands, there are multiple frameworks that you can use to build a chatbot. It also depends upon what is more relevant for your brand, where exactly you need to engage with the users. So there are some chatbots which are actually very available on like messaging platforms like Facebook Messenger or Slack, which are both like messaging platforms. Now, if you're building like a customer service chatbot or like an e-commerce chatbot, where you're trying to figure out, hey, where is my order, or when is my order arriving, or typically looking for your customer service, and your users are typically hanging in like Facebook Messenger. So there are a lot of companies, a lot of brands who are building the chatbots on Facebook Messenger. It's a very common platform. Of course, if your brand is dealing with like a lot of enterprise users, Slack is a very commonly used messaging platform. Then for more like commercial users, Google has a Dialogflow, and IBM Watson has IBM Watson Chatbot, which are both very mature frameworks. It actually, both the companies gives you very strong natural language processing capabilities, which is very important for building a good chatbot, because all you're doing is you're conversing, you're talking to the chatbot, and it should be able to understand what you're saying, needs to be able to interpret what you're saying. So the background NLP is very important. And then Rasa is an open source based chatbot, which is looking pretty good in terms of again the NLP capabilities. It is open source, most widely used open source chatbot. But the only thing is you just need a little bit more development since it's open source. So I'm just going to cover a demo today about an e-commerce chatbot which is integrated with a shopping site, storefront based on Salesforce Commerce Cloud. It can easily be, and we are actually using IBM Watson chatbot for this demo, but this similar things can be easily integrated with any other shopping or e-commerce platforms like SAP Hybris or Magento or Shopify, things like that, and then IBM Watson can be easily replaced with Rasa or Google Dialogflow. So what makes the chatbot smart? I think Sumit talked about missing metadata, so that's very key. Like when you are creating a shopping chatbot, it is very important that your latest product catalog should be available, because if the product content is stale, you cannot recommend the products to your user. So it's very important that the product catalog needs to stay in sync on at least a daily basis. Then there are a lot of things that the marketing users or the merchandisers do, which is like categorize the products into the right categories, or tag the content with the proper SEO keywords and stuff like that. Which again, if we are depending upon the marketing users, this process becomes like very slow. So you can integrate that again with like NLP APIs, where this stuff can all be done through the API, through the AI services automatically. So there could be like auto-categorization going on based on the content of the documents or based on your product descriptions. It can auto-categorize it into the right categories. It can also auto-tag with proper keywords and stuff like that. And it can also integrate with any content management system or a product information management systems, which are typically used by companies to enrich their product catalog. So all that has to go behind the scenes, and then chatbot becomes the front-end user interface for the user. Taking it to the next level, we can also do image recognition. So things like visual search, hey, show me products which are matching, this image, that kind of stuff. Or as you are typing the product content, any image that goes with the product. So let me just, without further ado, let me just get into the demo, and I'll show you, some implementation of that. So here, this is a storefront which is based on Salesforce Commerce Cloud. What you're seeing is that just comes out of the box, but then this is the chatbot. This is IBM Watson-based chatbot, which is on the side. One of the main reasons why do you need a chatbot, for shopping? If you remember, days before the internet, late 90s or something, where not a lot of information was available on the internet. If you're shopping for like a TV or a camera and you go to like Circuit City, remember those sales associates who were like, they know everything about those products, right? So if you're looking for a TV, you just go to the sales associate and say, hey, I'm looking for a TV, what do you recommend? And this person would know everything about every single brand and all the features, which basically we look for today, these days we look for on the internet, and we do a lot of research before we go to the store. Typically that's the kind of experience people are looking for when we are shopping for products. We still look for somebody to recommend products to us based on our requirements. So even though there are a lot of like search available, menu available, but that's where the chatbot comes now, is more of like a personal assistant to do help you with the shopping. So let's just get into that and see how it can help me in buying the products. So here you open chatbot. This is IBM Watson again. I'm just typing, hey, I'm looking for ruffle front cardigan, and if there is a direct match, it basically shows me the product. It shows me the picture of the product, shows me the price. You can click on this particular product, and then it will directly take you to the product detail page. If I want to see more descriptions, more features about the product, it will take you straight to the product detail page. This can also be integrated with checkout experience, so that you can directly check it out from there. Moving further, if I just say looking for women's business casuals, what it's doing now is there's not a direct match for this product, but what it did was using the NLP, it actually figured out what the person is asking for. There is not an exact direct product match, but there is a category, women's category that actually matched. Because I looked for women's business casual. So it showed me a category on the top, and this also showed me some top recommendations which are sort of matching for that particular category. Again, you can click on that particular category and you can go to the category page to do shopping. Here I'm looking for modern striped shirt, and you can see the shirt comes in multiple colors and multiple sizes, so it's a product variant. It shows me the price range, and it's also showing me what are the available variants of the products on right there. So there is a white shirt, there is a pink shirt available with different prices and all that. So here it actually goes and shows me white shirt right here, pink shirt right here, and again I can click on it. I can go to the product detail page and look for those products and buy it further. So if you click one of that, it will straight away take you to the product detail page. to buy some earrings. So she types in earrings, and again it actually displays some earrings, some top picks from this category. Again, the person actually clicks on it, goes to the category page, and looks for the right earrings, which are sort of matching with the dress, and they can purchase the earrings from there. So here, now let's say this person actually exits from here and comes back to the website. She didn't like anything, she didn't purchase anything, comes back to the chatbot even the next day, and she starts typing that looking for ruffle front cardigan. Oh, I'm sorry, it jumped right back. So now this person is looking for denim skirt, and you can see it actually showed the denim skirt on the top, but then it actually changed the product recommendations based on the previous history. So this chatbot knows that this person was looking for jewelry, looking for earrings, so it had started recommending automatically the earrings that go with the dress. Now at this point, the chatbot also knows that this person is interested in jewelry, so it also started recommending, like bracelets and things like that. So these are the intelligence that you can build inside the chatbot using the natural language processing, figure out, what the person is looking for, look at the interest level, and then recommend the products based on that. Moving further, so now the person is actually going forward, looking for a pant. So they just type in, hey, show me bootleg pants. And then you can only see that the chatbot only recommended women pant, because now it also knows at this point, I'm probably talking to a woman. Looking for skirts, looking for earrings and jewelry and all that. So it's not even recommending men's pant, it's only recommending women's pant at this time. So these are the kind of intelligence you can actually build in, and this is how a chatbot can actually help the user make the selection, do the product recommendation. So that's pretty much it. That's what I wanted to just show. That's thanks a lot. I think this probably helped you a little bit with your time and made a value for your time. Again, my name is Anurag, and I'm joined with Sumit. This is our contact information right here. Twitter handles are right there. You can follow us, to see what we are doing. We are doing a lot of AI-based work related to chatbots, related to NLP, and auto tagging, auto categorization, working with a lot of different content management systems and ecom systems.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.